How are we doing, folks? Welcome back to the Nightmare Cabin. We are doing another album review tonight. If you just watched the episode of Maidencast I just recorded, we're following up now. We're going to be doing Sumerlands, Dreamkiller, the second album from the band. Got a bit of glare there. Let's get the booklet out. Bit different artwork this time. Just got the lyrics inside and then a pretty cool band picture in the middle there. Let's put this down. Yeah, so if you're a regular viewer of the channel, you may remember a while ago, must have been maybe last year, year before, I did a video called Albums to Listen to in the Winter, or Albums that I like in the Winter. And the first Sumerlands album I brought up then. And I love that autumn sunset on the album cover there. And I just think it encapsulated that autumn wintry feel on the atmosphere of that album, and it's a bit of it's a unique album, a bit nichey, but I think if you're on board, you're on board till the end of the journey, you know. And members of that band went on to do Eternal Champion, and Eternal Champion have taken off since then. We've had 2 full-length albums. There is an Eternal Champion video as well on the channel, so if you're new to the channel, if this is your first video watching, go have a look back. There's albums to listen to at Winter, and then there's Eternal Champion. And I thought they'd pretty much moved on and carried on with Eternal Champion, because Eternal Champion are doing really well. And it was basically members of Sumerland with the singer of Iron Age. Let's see if I've got one of their albums down here off to hand quickly. I think I've got... Yeah. Oh, shit. Hold on. There's a alternative artwork, but you get the idea. Oh, here we go. Yeah, there you go. Yes, it's the singer of Iron Age with members of Sumerland, but doing a much more sort of mightier version of what Sumerland were doing. Very, you know, think Manila Road, think Manowar, Conan the Barbarian, H.P. Lovecraft, Swords and Sorcery, all that good stuff. While Sumerland was a bit more down to earth and a bit more mystical, a bit more melancholy. I'm not sure what their lyrical content is really, but now we've got this second album. It's kind of like Eternal Champion and Sumerlands are sort of two parts of the same entity, really. There's a lot of difference on one hand, but not so much on the other, and I don't really see why you would like one and not the other, really. So the main thing really is the vocals, but we'll get into that. This is the second album from the band. The first album was recorded as a 4-piece. The 2 guitarists handled the bass between them. Both guitarists are in Eternal Champion, and the bass player from Eternal Champion has now joined the band, making them a 5-piece. And on this album, they've got a new vocalist. Both the band's vocalists are pretty seasoned, really. On the first one, you had, let's quickly look him up, Phil Swanson. And now on this new album, we've got a new singer who I think is a bit younger. And what's his name? Brendan Radigan. And he's a similar vocalist, but he's got a bit more he's a bit more versatile, and got a bit more going on. He's a bit more energetic as well. I remember one thing with Sumerlands, if you look at live material by him, the original guy just sort of stood by the microphone and just sang along and lost himself in the music, but it wasn't really a lot to watch, if you know what I mean. But I get the idea. There's a video for Dreamkiller. I got the idea that this guy's a bit more of a front man. I think he's going to be a bit more engaged with the audience, which I think is a big benefit. again, as much as I do still really love this album, and I was kind of okay with it being a one-off, really. So it was a bit of a surprise when I found out they'd released a second album, and I jumped on it and got it straight away. Don't know what I was anticipating, but I sure as shit wasn't anticipating this, because this album's fucking awesome. Let's get into it. So, although I've kind of covered my bases really, but if you are uninitiated, Sumerland, they kind of capture that part from, think 80s metal, but we're not quite in the 80s yet. What a lot of people tend to forget is that the 80s it took a while for the 80s to become the 80s. You know what I mean? And so there's still that sort of 70s influence. So think Sabbath, but think maybe more Dio era Sabbath. Think Dio era Sabbath, but Ozzy solo stuff. You know? So don't forget Ozzy Sabbath. Think Dio Sabbath and Ozzy solo. So it's got that kind of sort of cool, witchcrafty, wintry wizardry of Sabbath, but the riffage is a lot more in the realm of sort of Randy Rhoads, you know, or Jakey Lee. So think Sabbath, Dio, think Ozzy in the 80s. Think of the first 4 Ozzy albums. See where we're going with this? Think Rainbow. Think Manila Road. Think a bit of Merciful Fate, and yeah, I'd say there's a bit of Iron Maiden in there as well. Think Angel Witch. Yeah, see where we're going with this. But it's not got that whole corny retro band thing going on, where you've got these bands that literally just dress like they're from the 70s and just try and sound old, and it always comes across a bit corny. They've got their own, they've captured a sort of classic, sort of timeless spirit, and it just sounds cool. This album could have been 20 years old. A 20-year-old album, 30-year-old album, even 40-year-old album, it still sounds just as great today. This is how this sounds. It could have come out 30-odd years ago. It could have come out today. It sounds great regardless. This sounds like a timeless, classic, well done, well made, classic, traditional heavy metal album. Like I say, the new singer has got a bit more range. He's still kind of doing the same thing as the original guys, as Phil, but he's just taking it to the next level a little bit. And the potential that is shown on this album is fully realised on this album. Everything that you liked about this album has just been turned up to 10. The foundation has just been built upon, and everything's just got an extra level on it. Everything's been capitalised on. This is a perfect second album. While Sumerlands was a good statement of intent and a good strong debut album which showed potential, all the potential is realised here. It's great stuff. One nice little touch as well is well, you kind of had that on the first album anyway, to be honest, but there's a bit more predominant here. There's just little subtle keyboards here that just fill in those little gaps. It's just a nice little, it's like a nice little frosting on the end just to finish the songs off. And it's just sort of subtly in the background. It's a nice little touch. But yeah, when a song like Twilight Points the Way kicks on, I mean, it comes in with that classic sort of shredding yet melodic riffing. And then you got the cool first thing, and then when it kicks into that chorus, and then Twilight lights the way, and just he holds that note and it just soars over. It feels like you've already known this song. It feels like a classic song that you've already known, you know, for years. You'll be thinking like, oh, how have I not heard this band before? This sounds like fucking UFO or something. And what we've got here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 songs. It's only 3 minutes longer than the first album. The first album's only just over half hour. This is 35 minutes. And the album flies by. It's an effortless listen. Yeah, Dreamkiller, if you'd seen, they've done a video for that one, and it's all like grainy, like it's filmed on video. It's great. All the songs are great though. They've got really good. They've got these hooks that it doesn't quite jump out yet. It's a lot more. What I liked about Sumerlands is that it rewarded repeated listens. It was like I was unsure what I thought of this album to begin with, but I knew there was something to it. I was a bit unsure, and I'd be like, put it on again. Put it on it, like, I'm not sure what to listen to. Oh no, I'll chuck that on. That was good. And then bit by bit, it grew on me. This one is a bit more immediate, but it still takes a few listens for it all to finally seep in, you know. But yeah, you'll be listening to it, and then you'll just be waking up in the middle of the night with a riff stuck in your head, or you'll get up in the morning with some chorus or some line, some melody. You'll be humming along, going, "Shit, yeah, I know the album, but I don't know the song. I'm gonna have to put it on." And all week, this album's been haunting me. But yeah, Heavens Above is great. Dreamkiller's got a good gallopy riff. There's lots of so the whole there's a lot more of that that Dio was so good at. Night Ride is a perfect example of that. And that I won't live to see tomorrow. No, bam, bam, bam. It's fucking great. The hooks on it. Listen, if you like Ghosts, think of Ghost. I think Ghost are a poor man's Blue Eyes to Cult myself, but you get what I'm saying. It's melodic vocals all the time, but big hooks, big melodies, infectious, great grooves, great fucking riffs. Dance on a Knife is another good song. Edge of the Knife, sorry, beg your pardon. Force of the Storm brings to mind this is what I was talking about with the 80s thing. That sort of brings to mind, think Ultimate Sin era Ozzy, or even Turbo era Judas Priest. That corny, it's cheesy, but we love it. 80s cheese, you know. But again, in the best way. But as well, some of these melodies are really haunting as well. It's not like a sicky sweet nostalgia 80s like fucking Stranger Things or something like that. It takes you back there, but in an authentic kind of way. So think like, I don't know. Do you remember that film Near Dark? Remember that atmosphere of that? It's something along those lines. But Death to Mercy, the closing track is great as well. There's one song as well. You must have watched Nerderotic, the YouTube channel. The theme music he has at the end of his videos, or sometimes at the beginning of the stream, where he goes, "I'll just whistle it." I swear they do that in the back of one of these songs. There's this little bit, and then there's just in the background. But that little bit of the keyboard, it just sticks in your head, and it's just a complete earworm. But yeah, this is a fantastic 35 minutes of just, like I say, classic, timeless, just done right, melodic, heavy metal in the old tradition. And again, if you love, take that perfect year, 1980. But yeah, if you love your Manila Road, you love your Dio, your Sabbath, your Maiden, your Angel Witch, you'll absolutely love this album. And yeah, definitely check this one out as well. But I do think this is actually the better one of the two. And I do really like that. So that's saying something. And yeah, lo and behold, folks, I think we've got a contender for Album of the Year here. If I'm liking this much a week in, I think we're going to... this is going to only get better as the year goes on. Especially now we're going into winter, because this is perfect winter atmosphere album, just like that first one. So, you know... the fact that we've now got Sumerlands and Eternal Champions swinging both back and forth, you know, I think we've got a good little body of music being built up here. Obviously, Eternal Champions a bit more fist pumpy and a bit more Larry and all that. This one's a bit more atmospheric and cool. But yeah, you've got three members basically. You've got the two guitarists and the bass player of Eternal Champion. Who knows? They may even do a joint tour. That'd be cool. But yeah, Sumerlands, Dreamkiller. Definitely check this out. This is definitely worth your time. And there's the album cover one more time. Yeah, worth your time. Check it out. So, thanks as always for watching. If this is your first viewing, thanks for coming aboard. Welcome aboard. Go look at some past videos. Check out the playlist. Check out Maidencast. I did a great interview the other day with Dave Martell from the Bizarre Archives. I'm going to be getting him back on soon, and we're going to be going through the whole back catalogue of Nevermore. In Sanctuary is going to be included in that as well as the solo albums from Worrell and Jeff Loomis. I've got a couple of other videos to do before then, a couple of retrospectives, as well as some reviews. So lots is coming, lots is going on, lots is coming. So yeah, thanks as always. If you've got this far into the video, please just give us one of them and subscribe if you feel the need to. And yeah, have a great weekend, everyone, and I'll see you all soon. Go read some good books and go listen to some metal. Take care of yourselves. Ciao.